In the U.S. state of Missouri have named Darren Wilson as the officer who killed an unarmed black teenager. 18-year-old Michael Brown was shot dead last Saturday in the city of Ferguson, sparking days of rioting. Well, Jazeera's Diane Easterbrook is with us from Ferguson. Good to have you with us. First of all, what do you make of the underlying issues that have been fueling the scenes of anger that we've seen coming from Ferguson and elsewhere as people protest about what happened in Missouri?
Well, the anger up until this point has been over the fact that there has been very little transparency in this case. Police, did not release the details of what happened prior to the shooting and during the shooting, and they were not releasing the names or the name of the police officer involved. What we did find out today, which is very important to this case, is that police say that 18-year-old Michael Brown and his companion, Dorian Johnson, were suspects in a strong arm robbery of a convenience store just before Brown's fatal shooting. Now, they say they have, and they've had stills of surveillance video in the convenience store showing, allegedly showing Brown and his companion going into the store, attempting to steal cigars. As they were trying to leave the store, the clerk stepped in front of them, barred them from leaving, and police say Brown took the clerk by the shirt and threw him into a display case, and then came back and stood over the clerk in a very threatening way, and then exited the store. During the press conference that we had earlier today, when police released the name of the officer, they mentioned the robbery before the shooting, but they didn't say if there was a connection between the shooting and the robbery. We saw police reports after that. We looked through it, and clearly Michael Brown and his companion were suspects in that robbery. So that clears up some questions, but the question remains, and with a lot of people here, why did they not release that information earlier? Because maybe it could have dispelled some of the problems that we've seen here this week.
All right, good questions there. Thanks so much, Diane Easterbrook there. Well, the Missouri State Highway Patrol will take over security in Ferguson after police broke up protests there with tear gas and pepper pellets. Captain Ron Johnson, an African-American who grew up in the area, will now oversee the security effort.
I think the American people realize that we've got some wounds to heal. There's a community that have some issues that they feel that haven't been addressed. And as a law enforcement, that's part of our job, to make sure that our citizens trust us and that we protect and that we serve them, and that everyone feels that their rights are the most important thing to us when we put this uniform on.
Missouri State Senator Maria CHAPPELLE-NADAL joins us from Ferguson right now. Good to have you with us. First of all, what's prompting these protests on the streets? One assumes that it's more than just the shooting, as tragic as it is, and the killing of the black teenager.
Yes, what I believe it is, there have been several isolated events where young people have been targeted. They have been intimidated. They have been harassed by authority and police officers in the past. And having Michael Brown shot by a police officer only brought to bear the feelings that have always existed inside. And so this whole situation has just made them angry and hurt, because they feel from their experiences that Michael Brown could have been them.
A lot of criticism, of course, focused on the conduct of the local police force. But what do you make of the criticism of the Obama administration and that its policy hasn't gone far enough in addressing race issues?
Well, I agree. The Obama administration has not gone far enough. And I will also tell you that I don't think that our president is very familiar with the history of race relations with Governor Nixon, our governor, who has been absent from the African-American community for his entire career. Frankly, this governor has not even shown up to ground zero. He's been in the city to the north of Ferguson. He's been in the city to the south of Ferguson, but he's never been to ground zero. And at ground zero, you have all of these young people who are very hurt, feeling a lot of pain and have an incredible amount of anger. And without talking to these young people, listening to their concerns, the governor is completely disconnected. Even in his press conference yesterday, when he was speaking, you could tell that he was disconnected from this community. And you can't be a true leader if you can't even step foot in Ground Zero. Now, yesterday, our U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill came down to Ground Zero, and there's a young lady who just got out of jail, and I introduced her to our U.S. Senator. And what came from that is our U.S. Senator opened her arms and let the young lady just cry in her arms and tell her what was in her heart. That is leadership. That is not the leadership that our governor has taken. He's decided to lead from far away instead of being at Ground Zero. So that's a problem. In terms of the police officers, let me tell you, I was in Iraq in 2010, and I was attacked by gunfire with a group of people, and we had to get into a bunker for an hour. I will tell you that my experience in 2010 in Iraq doesn't even touch this experience. I felt as though I was in Iraq in my own district, which seemed like a war zone for this last week, and it's unfortunate because it's furthering intimidation of people who are peacefully protesting. I didn't deserve to be tear gassed for 3 hours. I didn't do anything. I didn't loot. The 150 students, young people who were around me during this tear gas attack, they didn't deserve, they were peaceful as well as I was, they didn't deserve to be attacked by tear gas. And so because there's been such intimidation, this community is angry. And until the governor sets foot at Ground Zero, we're not going to have full justice and understanding.
A chilling comparison, no doubt, for many Americans. Thanks so much, Maria Chappelle there.